Thank you again, Madam Chairwoman. I just want to go back for a moment to the article in the Wall Street Journal, the president of Uganda, where he said many Africans with will leave many Africans with unreliable and expensive electricity, taking the path of focus on renewable energies exclusively. What is the State Department's position on that? Is he wrong? Or do you agree with it? Did you pay notice to it? Is the State Department saying, he's got a point? Assistant Secretary Fee?
I want to thank you for highlighting this challenge, which is a challenge specifically in Africa, but I would argue globally. But given the historic underdevelopment in Africa and the hungry desire, naturally, of peoples and governments to expand their infrastructure and provide the energy needs that would fuel development, this tension about how to manage moving towards a greener and safer world and the need for development is quite acute. When we were in Nigeria and Senegal, leaders raised the same concerns that President Museveni raised. So it is a challenge we are going to have to grapple with. There are real efforts to look for offsetting actions that these governments can take, for example, in Nigeria, to cap methane emissions while Nigeria deals with its own gas transition. Senegal is also in a similar position on gas transition. So I just want to acknowledge that you're quite right to put your finger on this. It's a challenge that we're going to have to manage.
You're doing your best to have a very reasonable, sound, effective approach. That's what it sounds like. So next I want to discuss Nigeria. Representative Smith invited me a couple of months back, I guess, to his office, and he had a number of members of the Nigerian parliament in his office, and it was quite an illuminating and interesting conversation. Also, it was very concerning, to say the least. Many of these, and I think it was all gentlemen, were in fear for their lives as well as their lives of their family. They were being very specific as to some of the raids taking place at the day of that they were visiting the U.S. So clearly they were very, very upset about that. So now that's happening, and yet just what was it last week, the State Department removed Nigeria from the list of countries of particular concern for religious persecution. So again, Assistant Secretary Fee, please just explain, and I could speculate what some of the various issues going on and what the overall goal is here by doing that. But can you try to be, in 2 minutes here, explain to us how that decision was made, and be as specific as you can as to how that's going to improve things?
The decision was made based on a legal determination that the government of Nigeria is not engaged in, the language of the statute is engaged in or tolerated severe violations of religious freedom. As you know, that doesn't mean that we're not concerned about the issue of religious freedom, and that's something that we have and will continue to emphasize. Nigeria is an enormous country with a population that is nearly equally divided between Christian and Muslim, and in fact has a long and proud history of religious coexistence. The country is under enormous stresses right now with real acute security challenges from Boko Haram and ISIS. They have enormous population challenges. They have enormous economic challenges. And so they're also affected by climate change. And when Congressman Smith spoke about this, Ranking Member Smith spoke about this, he noted and acknowledged those challenges, but said that they weren't an adequate explanation for transgressions against religious freedom. And we would agree that that's an important concern that we need to continue to focus on. But I think it is helpful to understand the broad range of factors that constitute the complex country of Nigeria, which affect and inhibit actions that we would like to see. But I want to, again, emphasize our commitment to religious freedom and to helping Nigeria treat its population correctly.
And I'm out of time, so I don't want to go over my time. But is there carrot and stick taking place? Are we saying, hey, the human rights issues are for real, they're happening, yet we want to recognize Nigeria and work with you in the best way possible? Okay. All right. Thank you. I yield back, Madam Chairwoman.